What is poppin', people? It's your boy Beer, and we are back with Danganronpa class investigation trial. This is the investigation. This is the trial itself. We're back with the trial for the murder of homeboy Nekomaru. That boy dead as fuck, but he was a robot, so was he truly alive? This is a philosophical question that doesn't need to be answered here. Let's put on auto. Keep it pushing.
The truth that the two houses and the two towers are actually one complete vertical building.
So we're still talking about this?
The killer wanted to keep us from learning that. That's why they made us stay away from Strawberry Tower.
They destroyed the button and wrapped a chain around the door just for that?
That would make sense. You would keep up.
Would it really have inconvenienced the killer if we learned the true structure of the building?
Yeah, because then we would have not checked the doors.
It would have been a major inconvenience.
We would have thought that they
After all, this funhouse is strongly connected to the ultimate weapon that killed Nekomaru.
Hold on. You're progressing much too quickly. There's still a contradiction concerning the building structure.
What a pain. It's fine already.
Gundam, please proceed.
What the fuck? It's kind of pissing me off how much of a cunt
You
she is
said
to-
earlier that Strawberry House and Grape House
Soda.
are
I don't even
connected
like
vertically,
soda, but
right?
Kazuichi.
If so, how does the contact elevator supposedly transport us from one house to the other?
I see, now that you mention it, I completely forgot about that matter. Yeah, I don't know.
If that elevator moves vertically, then when your back is facing the elevator, both towers should be on the same side.
Well, they could just like rotate as it goes down.
Does this reflect reality?
It could just rotate as you go
Inside
down.
Grape House, Grape Hall is on your right when your back is to the elevator.
Oh, that would make sense.
And inside Strawberry House, Strawberry Hall is on your left when your back is to the elevator. Which means the houses are on exact opposite sides of the tower. Answer me, fiend! What does this mean?
What does this mean?
I agree. What does this mean? As the houses are connected vertically, the position of the tower should be the same in both houses. Well, I'm trying to think. If you go down an elevator, you're gonna face the right way. But if it turns around, that wouldn't make sense, though, right? Because then the door would open on the other side, right? And when my back is facing the elevator, the Strawberry House, the tower is on my left. How could I break through this contradiction? All this shit. I really hate this. Like, this makes me super nervous. Okay, so I'm trying to find out the contradiction between the towers. Let me check my... okay, what they should do... Well, I'm never going to be playing another Danganronpa game again unless they actually make the game way more, like... I feel like the games are too linear. I actually talk about when I finish the game, if people really care about it, but... what they should do is they should make it to where your truth bullets in this segment, make your argument, shows up here so that way you know what to read. Because I just have to go on what I remember, and I think it was Fujiko's account, which is useless. Akane's account, which is useless.
The elevator should move.
Kazuichi's account. Apparently the compass's needle spin 180 degrees while it was inside the contact. Oh, this is it then. It's Kazuichi's account.
Vertically, not horizontally.
Got it.
No,
Bitch.
that's wrong.
Get him! No, that's wrong. Tell him.
The elevator wasn't just moving vertically.
Let's go, Kazuichi. I don't even
Isn't
like
that
you.
right, Kazuichi?
But still, I feel kind of bad.
Huh? Me? Come on. You used the elevator while you were holding that compass Nagito gave you, right?
Dude, his voice is so fucking
Oh, that.
hot.
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
Dumbass.
From start to finish, Somehow the compass needle rotated 180 degrees.
His voice sounds familiar too.
Rotated 180 degrees?
Man,
Meaning,
Kazuichi's whatever.
as the elevator moved between the two
180
houses,
degrees.
it also rotated 180 degrees. It was probably following the building's perimeter as it rotated to the other side. Which means the exit would be on the opposite side once you arrived at the other house, right?
Wouldn't you feel that when you're in the elevator, how it's moving like that?
And thanks to that, the tower we saw on our right side when we arrived at Grape House
Like you would feel, because you can feel when an elevator goes up and down.
appeared on
You
our
would be
left
able to
side
feel
when
if
we
the
were at
elevator
Strawberry
going
House.
left and right, or like in a circular pattern.
An elevator that rotates while it moves. Is that even possible? It's like something from an amusement park.
We are at an amusement park.
Well, a funhouse is an amusement park attraction, you know.
Tell 'em.
And since the building doesn't really need to be structurally practical, it makes for some splendid fun.
That's not splendid at all! You're inhuman!
Can you die next?
You say I'm inhuman, but I'm just a bear.
No.
So I was never human to begin with. I'm different from these lowly humans.
Let them know.
So we're done with the secret of the funhouse, right? Then let's start talking about the important stuff.
Yes, please.
What's the ultimate weapon that killed Nekomaru? And how'd they combine it with the pillar?
So we paused that, right? And we just skipped to the actual
Huh?
elevator part?
You still don't know what the ultimate weapon is yet? It's what I found at the Octagon, you know?
I thought it was a
What is the Octagon? I haven't heard about that yet.
Oh, that's in MMA and UFC where they fight inside
my.
of the ring.
I can't believe I have to explain that now. As long as you know what an Octagon means, you can solve this simple mystery easily.
Inside the Octagon. On Bruce Parker. What an Octagon means?
I see!
Octo means 8 dumbasses.
If I recall, an octagon is a shape with 8 sides, right?
If I recall.
I didn't expect you to know that.
Hello?
For a substitute reserve course
It's not
student,
even.
you're quite knowledgeable.
Okay, I think my 4th grade cousins know that.
I guess I should continue listening. Where is the place befitting of the name Octagon?
The Grape House. What's a hexagon? Spot selection. The elevator. What?
Crap!
I'm scared. I'm about to die. What the f is this? It's this. I died, and they all assume it was me. That was I actually did that on purpose. Oh, not really, but like
We will
I had
never
no
give
health,
up.
So how come when the blackened actually gets chosen, why can't they just we'll never give up? Okay. It can't be this. Is it the top? Oh. What? Oh my god. Oh, what the fuck? What is it? Could I can't even 360 rotate. Hello? Is the game glitched? I clicked on everything. It's right here. What? You gotta be shitting me, right? I clicked on everything. Okay. 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 Oh yeah. Hajime did it. I'm gonna kick your ass, Hajime. We'll never give up.
We will never give up!
Yes, you get all my health back. Select a suspicious spot. Dog, what? 8-sided? There's nothing 8-sided here. Right here. You dicks. Right here.
Here!
What?
You're talking about the secret room surrounded by concrete in the depths of the final dead room.
You fucking assholes. How the fuck was that? What?
Why is that place the octagon?
It's not even located.
You know how the four-sided strawberry house is on top of the six-sided grape house? If you cut a four-sided shape out of a six-sided one, you get 8 edges. It becomes an 8-sided shape.
That's basically the gist of it. The true identity of the octagon is that secret room in the depths of the final dead room. In actuality, that place contained various weapons.
Then the ultimate weapon was there too?
Nope.
That's a little different. I learned the true identity of the ultimate weapon at the octagon.
Learned?
The true identity of the ultimate weapon is the funhouse. Which means the killer used the building structure as their weapon and killed Nekomaru.
Holy shit, they killed Nekomaru with the whole building. Fucking, I need to know
Like
this
me,
killers.
the killer probably realized the secret of the funhouse from the scenery. And then thought of a way to kill making use of the building structure.
The funhouse itself is the weapon, so they killed using the building structure?
That's why the killer tried to keep us from learning the mystery of the building. But more importantly, using the building itself as a weapon? Such a spectacular crime. It truly deserves to be called the ultimate weapon.
The ultimate life form. The funhouse is tried being his ultimate weapon. What does this mean? How did the killer use that to murder Nekomaru? And who was the killer who did that? Fucking Fuyuhiko. What? What do you mean suspended?
Hiya!
Well, hello there. I got a new battery. Let me save it right away. Stuff it. Stupid fat. No, damn. Perfect jet stream attack.
Huh? Okay, everyone. All.
Alright, listen, worthless. Sure, let's save.
Hello. I hope your day is well.
So what are we at the halfway?
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up. My heart's thumping like crazy.
What the fuck is this music?
I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy.
High energy.
Yeehaw! But be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons.
So that way your vibrator won't
And
die.
just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
There's no point. There's like literally no point to saving in this game. Unless you're like power goes on.
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon.
You guys are just
Oh well,
agreeing to it?
let's just press on ahead.
Oh, okay.
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily?
You're the killer.
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is
Who done it?
the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Nekomaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
You're the killer too.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
This is the man who fucking...
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
Yeah, fucking, this man played fucking Russian roulette. Like on the
He's
hardest
right.
difficulty.
There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but
Then Hajime let me down.
I will sincerely retract that remark.
Oh, he said fuck these idiots.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too,
Ow!
you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual.
Please die, man.
There is no such thing as murder
you
for
did
the
it.
sake
I
of
hate you
hope.
so much.
Murder is simply
and
murder.
Sonya.
Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can. Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Akane! You were drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or
Anyway,
not.
if the killer used the building's structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Blunt, what instrument? Everyone's cause of death, huh? Because what he damages if he was beating senses with a blunt object. But if he was beating with a blunt object, it wouldn't be called a kill that utilized the building structure. So what was Nekomaru's cause of death that also utilized the building structure? Dead battery. Shit. Falling? I had a feeling it was falling.
I see!
See!
That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method.
I've been fucking adding
Where
to
in
this
that building would you even be able to push
case
someone off
more
in the
than
first
you ever
place?
will be? More than you have done the whole game, Gundam.
It might be
So
possible
fucking
in the
take what
tower.
you say and shove it straight up your fucking weave ass.
You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
See? Let's go, Akane. At least she's doing
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
I wanna kill this guy somehow.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
Nekomaru died from falling. Where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? He wanted to reach the truth behind his incident, and he saw that mysterious. Please, no. I don't wanna make that. Good night, though. Like, I wish you could check all this stuff here, but they're not even, they're too long to even be there.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
Okay, so we got a couple stuff. There's a good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck, and this button is pressed, all Nekomaru's functions cease when he's forced to enter sleep mode. Oh, it's probably this. I think I got it.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Oh.
Hold on, did you? As long as there's a moving object inside.
I think you're just using this. I'm pretty sure it's this.
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
It's gotta be this. I know this is it. But
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible to...
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on, did you? As long as there's a move, the other door won't open. Which means the elevator wouldn't...
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
I need to make it clear so they understand that Nekomaru fell to his death. Looks like it's all up to me. Let me check these one more time.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor,
Contact. What's his contact? Contact elevator used to move between both houses is broken and no longer work. It was apparently broken at the grape house side, so the last person to use it would have arrived at grape house.
you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
Fuck. Okay, so wasn't for Hugo's account. It's gotta be the contact elevator, so.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, You can't go through the door in the...
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking Mekamaru, they move the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
Yeah, it's not there. There's one left, right?
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they move the elevator and made use of the
Hold on, did you forget the... As long as there's a moving object inside.
Shit. What the fuck? Okay, so it's not...
When the elevator is on the 1st floor.
When the elevator's on the... Okay, so I have to prove right here. What the fuck am I even trying to prove? And there's the movie crates. I thought for sure it was fucking there.
You can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
What was Akane's account? Something about time, wasn't it? So that rubbing place was actually him falling? Holy shit.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on, did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
Wait, what was Hiko's account? Wait, okay, so I think it's something that,
Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
I need to make it clear so they understand that everyone felt it is dead. Looks like okay, so I need to prove that
when the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they move the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
I think this is easier than just trying to actually figure it out, to be honest.
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they move the and made use of the...
Hold on! As long as there's a moving object inside.
Fuck! Well, it's not that either.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Mekamaru inside the they move the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
Baby.
When the elevator is on...
Sorry, I don't... Oh, time's up. Shit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use everything on one thing first. Hope it works. Sorry, I hate these maker arguments.
We will never give up!
We will never give up!
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the...
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Let's just go for broke.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
What the fuck happened?
Then, how about this? After locking they move the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
I feel like it's something that Chiaki's singing.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th.
It'd be impossible.
Then, how about after locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they move the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
Oh, it wasn't that? Oh, I think it was it.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
We're almost done with weed.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door on the fourth.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
When the elevator is on the first, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Alright, so Fuyuhiko's done. It's not what Fuyu. I'm pretty sure it's what Chiaki's saying.
When the elevator is up, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking the, they moved the and made use of the.
Hold on. As long as there's a move, the other door won't open, which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
My controller like bugged out and it was like fast forwarding. Like,
when the elevator is on the first, you can't go through the door on the fourth.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about after locking Mekamaru inside the they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor.
They moved the elevator from the first floor to the fourth floor.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, how about after locking Mekamaru inside the they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor.
I wish the purple word would help.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this?
Good night,
after locking they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor.
They moved the elevator from the first
when the elevator is on the first floor.
Isn't that... First floor is Grape House. Wasn't there something that said that? The contact elevator used to move between how both houses was broken and normal work. It was apparently broken at the Grape House site. So the last person to use it would have arrived at Grape House.
You can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor and made use of the drop.
That is true.
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
Oh, his goodnight button. I got it now.
Elevator.
That must be the threshold of that
elevator. It was
elevator.
his goodnight button. Shit, it was actually... Oh, I got it now.
When the elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they moved the and made use of the...
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator? As long as there's a moving object.
Bam!
No, that's wrong.
A fucking idiot. Sorry, it just clicked with me.
That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
Oh, I thought I was going to explain it.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from, yes?
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me.
Damn.
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
That's fucked up. I'm gonna create the drop inside the elevator when Nekomaru's story. It's the rope, right? Why?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Wait. That's not it? It's the wire.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the...
So you're telling to think about the arrangement.
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, pest!
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Oh my god. Whoa. I never wanted inside the elevator. How can you create a difference in elevation?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time?
Wait, what? I wish there was like an objective for it, you know? Like that tells you like what your objective is.
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, pest!
Don't. What if I start to enjoy it?
If you arrange it a certain way,
Contradict what she
you
said.
can cause the drop within the elevator.
Yeah, I'm just gonna contradict what she said.
Crap!
There's a way to create a difference in elevation.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Oh, the broken door.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar?
Right? Because it looked like it was popped off. The doorknob found under the tipped over pillar, the screw at the base are pulled down and there are some scratch marks in the knob itself. One of the doorknob from the far back starting onto the insist of the doorknob is like that.
What about the oil on the floor?
What am I supposed to do with these blue shits? Well, wait. Yeah, what are those instructions? Open help. Some text may appear in yellow. This is their weak spot. Represents potential lie or contradiction. What about the blue words? If you target a weak spot and then hold down the fucking button, what the fuck button is that? You can use that weak spot as a temporary truth bullet later in the argument. These flash pebbles will disappear. Then what the fuck is going on? Press the button to fire a truth bullet you uploaded.
You can cause the drop within the elevator.
I know I'm not supposed to argue with her, but like they're blue. I don't even have...
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious. If you arrange it, you can cause the drop.
So you're telling to think about the arrangement.
That arrangement is...
Cause the drop?
The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
If you arrange it a certain, you can cause the drop.
So you're telling to think about the arrangement.
That arrangement. The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
How about we all shut up and listen to what she...
Silence!
Don't. What if I start to enjoy it?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
Oh my god. I hate this shit. I'm about to look it up.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling...
Look, fucking kill me, please. I'm looking this up. I don't care. Fuck this. This is too obnoxious, annoying, and fucking retarded. Danganronpa 2 case 4 cause the drop. Time for a break. When things of buildings like this, like falling, midnight burning, bullet for moving objects, wire going on the floor.
This is our end?
Wait. Yeah, I'd like to retry. I gotta
We will
pee.
never give up!
Sorry, I normally don't look it up. I think I only looked up one other thing, which was case 3. But this is annoying.
If you...
And I'm just really bad. So, okay, so... Final Dead Room, class trial. Another logic dive. Hello? When did I do the logic dive? Spell out elevator, Kazuichi's account, bullet for vertically. Select 8-sided shape. So it's the area that is the top part of the gray pile. So it's time for a break. It's building like this. Select falling. Good night button. Bullet for moving object. Wire bullet for doorknob on the floor. Wire bullet for doorknob on the floor.
You can cause the drop.
So you're telling to think about the arrangement.
That arrangement. The hammer is suspicious. Isn't it about time we went?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I agree with that.
Oh. I didn't even know. I didn't know what the blue shit meant.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it?
I had the right idea. I was right both times.
Might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the
blue
elevator
shit
moved while that loop
tape.
part hung from the doorknob.
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Holy shit.
Huh?
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower.
Don't worry, I didn't spoil anything. I only read what I had to read. That's why I was like trying to find where I was.
And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
You better not finish that sentence!
Like his dick. Don't worry, I got you.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy. So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Why?
If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall?
Then he eventually just falls into the
Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
That's stupid. Why is he attacking me?
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push. There's no way they could do that. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off.
Oh,
there's no way they could do that. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him. There's no way they could do that.
Okay, I got it.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to... Now's the time if you... But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story.
We're still trying to continue?
What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
That's not it. Sorry, bro.
What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode.
Allow me to cut through those words.
This is clock 1 time different than his actual time thing.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why, if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right?
No, I would get out of the situation very easily.
Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
Yeah, they changed up his neck too. Holy shit.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
Well, the wire really creates...
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
Yeah, that ripped off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Most likely.
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
Killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I used my full power. Oh. Here it comes, incredible strength of 1 million horsepower. Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break off the doorknob, it will be stuck in. That's really what it was. Then that's the clue Nekomaru left for us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Wait, who was with me?
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah, bitch,
Yeah.
why arguing with me?
It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest.
Oh,
No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
Oh.
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
Oh god.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy, he gets off on this.
Yeah, please, just
So
have him
thanks to
die.
that
Hit him
alarm,
fucking
Nekomaru
dumb,
ended up
please.
falling while he was still hanging upside down.
And Sonya too, please get rid of her.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
He doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. Yeah, he landed on the pillar. The only thing I can think of happened to him was he collided with the pillar.
I see.
Cola came out of his eyes.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See? I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
I have to pay.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
God, can I pee now?
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Great.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nah, that's impossible. Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Oh shit.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
You should definitely no more, please, no more. Asshole. No.
We headed for Grape Tower.
No, you didn't. Shit.
Before 7.
How do I? Oh, I
But
can't.
the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest
That's too late.
was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
No, that's wrong.
I remember this one.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying...
Okay, wait, hold on. How do I?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw would...
Wait. Oh, here we go. The transcript. Okay. And if we found out more about it, there would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off. It appears yet another contradiction has been burned. Are you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 when you went to the tower at 7? That's what I want to know. I can't show what time it is.
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
No, they are.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
Fucking pussy.
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
Oh, hell yeah. It's time to lay the contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimony. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we overlooked something. Maybe we were misunderstanding something. Think. By focusing, think, it's real to find the answer to that mystery. I'd rather do anything than make your argument. And logic dive is pretty fun, so. Let's go, hatchback. You're going in hot. honestly have no fucking clue. What did Hajime and the others misunderstand? Who the killer is, where the murder happened, the time and the building. Easy. First time I got it right on the first try. Like, I'm trying to think who did it, and I actually have no clue. I want to say Sonya, but holy shit, there's a lot of them cutting my kids. Which clock was tampered with? It's not Nekomaru's. The building clock. Oh, yeah, it's the building clock. Nekomaru's can't be tampered. Oh, let's go. Kill me. This reminds me of like Sonic at the 2 special stages. Holy shit. Which house had the wrong time? Grape house, both houses, strawberry house. Strawberry house. Is that where the girls were? Gold item? What the fuck? I guess it would make sense here. I was the one because this Nekomaru's clock wasn't tampered with. Get the fucking out of here, baby. So what did Hajime and the others misunderstand? The time of the building. Which clock was tampered with? The building's clock. And which house had the wrong time?
It's all coming together!
I'm an idiot.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right. That's the main problem. I need to clarify about how much time was off. I've been doing that for a while. Probably a few hours. No. No.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death.
What was Oh, here we go. Is it gonna be this?
Was clearly 7:30 a.m.
If the time in the building, then we can only rely.
The time of was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
Oh, here we go.
If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it.
Would it be two separate falls?
Obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
Or was it
We heard that noise too.
the pillar falling?
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well.
It's her.
That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
It's her.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
Well, we woke up from sleep and heard it.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
Don't expect me to do this, man.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
That's
I
probably
instantly
true.
woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
The rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30 a.m. It's like the answer to how much time was off literally right in front of the 2 hours.
I see!
I said that from the beginning, didn't I?
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30. And if we heard the sound of his impact at
I swear when
5:30,
they first mentioned the time being off, I was like,
that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
when we wake up.
The reason
yeah,
is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Yeah, because he would. Yeah, because he's the only
If
one.
you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right?
Because he's the only one that would come on time.
From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Killer's a fucking genius. Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. They were trying to lure only Neko. Fucking massage time.
I see!
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
Dude, they went to work fast. That was like,
How did
was
they
it like 3
use
days
it?
they come up with this shit?
We
Whoever
were
the killer is.
required to go to Grape
No,
Tower
no,
every
that-
morning at
they
7
deserve to
a.m.
get
for that
away with it.
activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
He was going to.
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Why didn't he waken you up?
At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Damn. He's outrageous. I honestly think with everyone who gets me. Oh.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
That's true.
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Let's go for you, Hugo. And Nagito.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge.
Gundam.
We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Or was it Nagito? If whoever didn't have an alibi for that time, right? Did they say Nagito didn't have a time? Oh fuck, I can't. Nagito? Didn't they say something about Nagito not coming out? It was a Gundam.
You're the only one!
Oh no.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
No, I was just starting to like him.
That's right. Nagito wasn't there.
No!
It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
Yeah, this is what I remember.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Why would he help us with the...
Please,
he killed so
say
much.
something.
He even freaking did the... Why would he...
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
What was a suicide? Suicide.
If I may be frank,
Bitches.
even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
I had constipation.
It's merely the foolish talk
Shut
of
up,
the
bitch.
weak.
Let me finish.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
He couldn't.
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me.
Oh,
It
Sonya
is
and
obvious
Nagito
that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
What?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it.
Oh, maybe it's the room that you're in.
It wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
If you're probably in a deluxe room or a
Couldn't
standard
hear it?
room, you couldn't hear it.
What does that mean?
That's probably what. Oh,
You
shit.
still don't know.
It depends on what room you were in.
Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common.
I got it. I already know what it is. The deluxe room, baby. Let's fucking do it. Deluxe has 6 words in it. Fuck. In all of these. Fucker. No, I needed the D. I needed the D. Fucking. I'm so ass at this. Deluxe. Shit, I can't get there fast enough. Deluxe, baby. These asses. These shits. Oh! Combo!
I got it!
Monster combo. Actually, you know, I think King Kong was like 3.
Nagito, Sonya,
No,
and
King
Chiaki.
Kong was like 4.
The 3 of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Deluxe room soundproof and has excellent air insulation. Damn.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior
Dude,
sound
and
insulation.
He was
You
so...
actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime.
Yeah.
Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent?
Yes, Daddy, I am.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Oh, hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Because those 3 would be out, they would be sleeping.
Why? Well, that fact just
So it would
now
be
is a
everyone
very
else,
important
I think,
clue
or the opposite.
and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Somehow I feel like I haven't told them so weird. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Select someone. What? Wait, what? Am I choosing someone who was in the deluxe room, or am I choosing someone who wasn't in the deluxe room? It's a Connie. It was me. It's mine. Oh, sorry.
Crap!
It's Hajime. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, so it's not someone in the deluxe room, so it's one of. Or it's one of us. Is it Connie?
Crap!
The deluxe. Okay, so it is the deluxe. It's like a Chiaki. It's someone from Strawberry House.
Crap!
So it was. So it is Nagito. Wait, what? Is it? It's not Nagito. I didn't think it was Nagito. I won't Gundam.
You're the only one!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Gundam?
Yes!
There's something I want to ask you.
Please. End him. I thought it was Gundam, but I didn't want to fucking
When
be
the alarm
wrong.
rang
So
at the Strawberry House
assumed
lounge,
everyone else but him.
you rushed over there too.
I should have
right?
assumed it was him. Fucking. Yes.
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings...
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room.
Oh! I didn't know that. See, the game should have told you who had the.
Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it.
What a dumbass. He gave himself away.
So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
Yeah.
There's only one possibility.
Yes.
You weren't in your room at the time.
Yes.
That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Yes, fuck this
Gundam. You have some sort of explanation, right?
shit. No, fuck
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Me?
Because he was probably watching. Yeah.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right?
He should have just been AFK or just waited. What an idiot.
If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Yes.
Even though Nekomaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Oh, so he just fucked up, basically.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Which actually helped him.
Because I was in the lounge.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Why when that was happening, he didn't just run to his room? What an idiot.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out.
Yeah, well, he literally was found out either way.
That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
They just made up an excuse that had to take a shit.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but... How ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Let's go.
Gundam? Please.
No.
Can you at least say something?
You talking shit, you gonna die too.
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Huh?
The answer is 10. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
He was like, hello?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm.
You wish.
That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway.
Yes.
So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting?
Yes.
It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Yes.
Hold on a sec.
No.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
Hmm?
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder.
We can discuss this after we kill him.
What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Hey, discover the sexuality.
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Ah, you said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
I will kill you too!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
Okay.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
No.
Have you learned your lesson?
It's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when the contradiction happens. There's such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. I love that. Please, no. No! Why is there more? Where's Nagito's sudden disappearance?
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
That is it.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
That doesn't make sense because fucking literally right here. Hello? Why isn't this an option? Okay, it's not this.
As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House, there's no question that the following crime is...
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to Why don't we stop this
here,
already?
They didn't give you that because they want you to do theirs.
That elevator was the only means of travel between...
No, that's wrong!
So it was Nagito's bullshit, sudden appearance, but
No,
they made it like
there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist!
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Nagito. Let's ask. Fuyuhiko.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right? There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up.
Yeah, you do.
But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down... Surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
So that's what that
Meaning, the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
Oh shit, for real?
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own... If you value...
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say? Don't make me angry! You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I'm angry. There's more to this shit. Why?
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down!
Oh, swords. Across its swords, boyo!
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion. Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
Probably means try providing evidence that the killer was the Octagon. Oh, okay.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
What the fuck?
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark if you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion. Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! You don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion. Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer... Don't bark if you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion. Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer... Don't bark if you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck would it be?
Crap!
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark if you don't want to drown in the map.
Allow me to cut through those words!
I'm fucking done.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body.
Oh.
The hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower.
That's true. I'm an idiot.
Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the Octagon. There were various weapons and tools there.
I forgot to get those wires.
Since those items were used in the crime.
If that's the case...
It seems. Normally we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case.
I fucking hate that shit so much.
But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening. Hey, what do you...
Let's go, Nagito.
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point, so he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Surprise.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
He would have killed Maru.
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And, without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay?
You do that, Daddy.
Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru. So by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! You... What did you just say?
Yeah,
that
he did have to actually...
I didn't battle? What? Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
He did have to fight him.
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
Oh!
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
Damn it. I thought you were the same.
It appears I cannot finish. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I can...
What do you...
It's obvious! I'm going to just...
Are you saying you still have more?
Your words. You said I... However, that button was on the back.
It's not easy to get the drop on...
It's even more difficult.
Just as I thought. Truly, Fred. If you want to...
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one.
Such a wonderful lie. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat.
Grab your penis and...
First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human.
Why are you telling us to leave?
You have not fulfilled...
It's really don't want to. And just as you request, I will provide an argument that leaves me no choice but to be persuaded. Panic talk, eh? What is this?
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! For the Tanaka Empire!
I don't know how to do this.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither!
A, lock on and attack. Select final strike. B, final strike. X, reload final strike.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! For the Tanaka Empire!
I don't know what...
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire!
I don't know what...
Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
The four dark. No, I had it. It took too long.
Crushed as David prophesized. Show me the cadaver. I won't let you. For the Tanaka Empire. Wither.
I don't understand how to do
Crushed as David prophesies. I won't let you. For the Tanaka Empire. Wither. It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
Wait, what the fuck happened? I don't understand how to do it at all.
It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
This is the end!
Did I not get it? Oh, they probably changed it. The hell, he told his hamsters to kill him?
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
This fucking shit is all I
As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh?
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundams. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
Supernova, Silver Fox, indeed.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right? Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
I bet it was a fat ass one too.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my... I have...
Admit it?
It appears I've a... Fine! Then you must trip victory can... Now, trample, pull the curtains...
Please! No! Well, I thought we didn't have to do this! What the fuck? Okay. Camera the elevator. What happened there? You can't sleep. Dark Davis. No, that's not. Shit. Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's some ass. We could have put whatever. Oh, it actually told you. What was the fake looking one? That's stupid. Who got it at the ground? Why didn't everyone fall? Who were the wrong ones? So all this shit. Who set the alarm clock? What time did we do the set? Yeah. The wire wrapped around his feet. Who got it as well? That's right. Why didn't everyone fall? I did. What is this? together. That's one of his weaknesses. Hamsters. His weakness is hamsters? Why did Nekomaro fall? There was nothing else with it. Why did Nekomaro fall? And who heard the rumbling noise? Ya boy.
Here's everything that happened in this case.
Spicy, you know. That's good.
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime. First, they destroyed the contact elevator.
You have to do this again.
This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House.
I feel like skipping it, but I really decided how to do this voice.
Next, they lured Nekomaro out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final den. This means the killer discovered that secret. On the morning of the incident, there, Fuyuhiko, according to Fuyuhiko's by that, in actuality, that's also the same However, so he decided. But the killer was. With the power of hamsters, they were able to
He had a weakness to hamsters. What the
This forced him to enter sleep from there.
That's all I want to see. I want to see if we can do that for weakness to hamsters.
First. Then they tied him up with a metal wire. Tied the tip.
Yeah, just seen over there.
After they did this to keep us. Then they used this after arriving. When that happened, and Nekomaru's body was the killer entered Grape Tower to and placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon. This was done to make us falsely believe we could. With this, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru
caught.
But as a result, the lounges to avoid a. When the wall clock's alarm rang, he woke up original, but because they Neko. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact. The sound of
died.
However, by this point, the killer's meaning. The killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room.
This is art.
That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
Stop. Stop it already.
Kill him, please.
Stop using weird words to avoid the truth.
Kill him, Akane.
Or I'll friggin' kill you myself! Yeah. I cannot believe it.
Oh my
I just
kill this
cannot believe you killed Nekomaru?
Yeah,
I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret?
Oh shit.
Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for my beloved, deadly foe!
Let us fucking vote. Oh my lord, let me get my Q minus. Oh, you get lowered points if you fuck up. So I got 18. Oh shit. I got 18 fucking points. Oh, get me the fuck out of here.
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull. Who will be chosen as? Please pull. Crap! I bit my.
Crap! I bit my ass at the wrong part. Let's fucking. Oh god, I can't wait for this. Fucking Kazuichi, fucking Sonya, and fucking this cunt are the 3 most annoying characters in this game. All rise. It'd be bad if I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, never correct once again, getting 4 in a row without any mistakes in the plans for the achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic tomorrow.
Nice!
Now then.
So the execution already gets over with. Stupid question, but that doesn't mean the incident can't finish until we hear from.
Jeez.
Fuck.
Fall, my tear. Listen well.
Correct.
How
You
pitiful.
guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, was a great mistake. Yeah, you got really upset.
Fine.
Damn it!
This, too, must be the will of causality.
There are many ways he could have done so, however, he did not allow that.
You.
Let's make history.
Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say, I expected much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation, and we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away or even called for help, but he did not turn his back to me. Well, his dumbass died, man, so.
That is...
Let me tell you this.
Huh?
If I had died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, was his target.
I can see it!
Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Oh shit, he was gonna kill too.
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
The scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great line.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka. I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid! In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back.
Well,
Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
So Gundam actually went to kill someone.
Nekomaru need I. Your blood will drench the foundation of my empire.
That is...
Why did you fight? We were all friends. Get out of here. Why could you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was still wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you.
Let me tell you.
I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die?
You weakling!
That is abandonment. Are you telling us to just wait until we starve to that? I'd rather have that happen to us than have our friends kill each other. Did you mean that you'd rather die?
Fall, my tears.
Everyone had been dominated by that feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up.
If you flinch, you will die! Let me ask. Fine.
In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism.
Listen well!
You say killing for the sake of living is evil. Then what would you call giving up on life itself?
I shall engulf this world. I renounce you!
You.
Saying all that to justify
What?
But it's not like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to a battle. Regardless, as I've already said, every man intends to force my value point fools.
Fall.
Which needs a better alternative to slowly starving to death.
Oh. You...
Let's make
Unlike
history.
Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle with Nakamura, that was mere child's play.
Well...
Don't tell me you didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? Well, if you think about it, I feel like Nekomaru definitely did. Like, if he did kill Gundam, he probably would have been like, he probably would have admitted to his thing, you know, and said that, yeah, it was definitely me, I did it. I feel like he would. He doesn't seem like the type to, you know, thing around. But this asshole, I don't think he's sacrificing himself because he was trying to get away with it. Then towards the end of it.
My name is Gundam! Fade like dust in the wind.
I'll just leave it.
Yes, in.
Ultimate breeder?
Please wait! I beg of you!
Please kill her too!
Huh? I beg of you!
How?
I'm finding stopping a man from going to his death does not befit a normal such as yourself.
Fine. What is it, my foe? Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared four dark devas of destruction. That is not like you at all.
Kill them too.
However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness. That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam to Open Sesame Pandemonium!
Let's give it everything!
Perfect. Oh my god, he's gonna be like just mauled by hamsters. Oh god. What did they get all those animals? Oh my god, is his hamster's gonna die too? Oh, he was. He's gonna fight. Oh, he's putting a summoning jutsu. Oh, he got dogged. Oh my god. All the fucking animals are coming to take his ass. I'm fucking dead. Oh. What the fuck? He's fucking dead, thank God. Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still linger deep in our chest. Did I just understand what he said? Then what's the right thing to do? I don't know, no matter how much I think about it, I don't know how I'll be able to answer it.
Damn it.
I'm so pissed off I need to throw something.
Damn it!
You're all full of shit everywhere.
The worst.
And why am I so weak?
Oh.
You are right. You are right.
Should just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this for the sake of our friends. I'll just stand there, stand up and walk. Oh my god.
Hey! Hey!
Yeah, get the fuck off the island.
Well,
Now then.
Finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food.
Hey, hey!
It's not like that.
She's trying something else.
Hey, hey.
At least they have something to look forward to. It's someone that is fucked up as that is.
Right?
I know. This killing was kind of bittersweet. It was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. I get to him. Oh, he's in my room. Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Holy fuck, he kept everything. Oh, wait. I know he got the 2 bugs, but did he keep anything else? Oh, he's just gonna jerk off to that. Thanks to that, I was able to learn the identity of our true enemy and everyone else, too. It's just too funny. I mean, no one could tell that I was lying. There's no way the file had just Hajime's information. Oh, I knew his little fucking ass was lying. I guess we're too busy with other matters, or maybe they reached their limit. Regardless, I was saved. Things would get complicated if we found out. Anyway, I can't forgive you.
Damn it.
This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this one loose. I'll be the one who stops this once and for all. Even if it costs me my life.
It's obvious.
Thank God.
Monokuma appears!
Now that...
What's this? What's the matter?
Well...
Hello.
Oh,
Hey.
Shit. 16 people in the file that I received. But isn't that weird?
Say what?
You don't even know?
The future numbers hiding this, right? Including that person's total number of students would be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
Of course.
I just reused the stuff that the former headmaster spent a lot of time on.
But...
If this file even contains information about the trader, is that person also focusing on the whole street academy?
Who knows?
Hey.
Could it be? Some false information in the file? We're trying to keep us from learning the trader's identity by obtaining this information?
Well...
That's not my point.
Right?
My point is, you already know who the trader is. Of course you do. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled up.
But even though I knew who it is, why do you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Anami after losing her magic stick.
No, no. Shing!
It's entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. I came here to offer my cooperation. You know?
Huh?
Hey.
Your purpose is to fill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you're intentionally letting the trader do as they please.
Yep.
If
that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat.
Right?
However, in exchange, I want to know who the trader is.
No, no, no.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Damn.
Well...
Damn.
You're right.
And you're a bad person or something?
Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky.
Like...
It's Makoto! But you're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something.
Well...
Say what?
You don't know?
I'm true.
Hey.
There's one. I don't know if she's talking about the trader or if she's talking about Makoto. I'm pretty sure she's talking about Makoto. Hey, there's one more thing I want to ask you.
See?
What were you waiting for on this island? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is the person you're waiting for already on this island?
Hey.
That's...
Oh, that shit had me more confused than before. Oh god. That looks like we're gonna die in 5 days. Guess we got the next motive. fucking done. Oh my god, this fucking recording was 2 hours long.
There's 7 left. Oh god.
Danganronpa. Man's nut. Hellhound. But the Patora earring. Oh, we're fucking done, Hajime. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.